What is up, YouTube? What is up? This is Mike Willie. Tonight, I have a very special guest that needs no introduction.
Hmm.
However, he is my mentor. He's the reason I started doing this YouTube thing. His name is Mr. Lamont Tyson, Life Gains. Please make sure to follow his channel for anything financial, TV shows, so many things. He covers it all. Make sure to follow his channel, and you will not be disappointed. What's going on, Lamont? How are you?
I can't call it brother. I mean, to say that I inspired you to become a YouTuber, that's big time right there, my man. YouTube,
Definitely.
YouTube can change your life and can change it for the better. And if I'm able to do that with a lot of people, then I'm happy that I'm leaving some kind of a positive mark on the world by getting people to let them display their artistic and creative juices to the world that want to see it.
Absolutely, absolutely. You do a great job. I'm sure I speak for myself and so many others.
I hope
Um,
so.
yeah, without further ado, let's just tackle a topic, and I feel like people need to hear this. Just basically, we're going to be talking about simplicity of life. So often, you have people stressing out, going to the hospitals because they're just
Mhm.
so stressed with things they can't control. Um, just want to touch base on how to keep things simple, you
Right.
know, without stressing about things and things that you can't control. Just let it go. After you do the best you can, of course, just let it go. Um, so often, I believe that's why the suicide rate is up.
Hmm.
People going, checking out of here early. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I hear so many times in a lot of people's communities, in our communities, that we stress over things that are completely out of our control. And I learned a long time ago, if you have no control in the outcome, there's no need in stressing it. I think my people who are in the religion would say, pray, give it to God, let it go. If you're not in a religion, meditate, let it go. But if you have done every single thing you physically and mentally can do to change the outcome, then you rest on those laurels. But if there's nothing you can do about it, you just got to not worry about it and let it go. And I think what happens is people, we get caught up in things that we can't control. And one thing we can't control is another human being. And so oftentimes we get caught up in what another human being is doing, their behavior that you feel like should be different. You try to control it and you just lead yourself down a road of stress. I would say just take a step back, really understand the positives going on in your life that you can utilize for your own good, and be selfish and stop worrying about the things you can't control, especially those that deal with other people.
Yes, yes. And just to elaborate on that a bit, great point, by the way. So often we do things to impress other people rather
Hmm.
than, just being ourselves. And that kind of get us in a pigeonhole of having to live up to certain expectations,
Hmm.
doing things that we wouldn't normally do. Um, and it's a very fine line between being yourself and being who someone else wants or expect you to be.
Right.
Um, my thing is, and like you said before, in the Christian community, it's not enough God in the world nowadays.
Mm.
Where, you know, people will say I hate you before they say I love you.
Hmm.
People will push you down before they help you up, and that's just way too common. Um, like I don't know, it's a really trying time right now. Like everything with the division, you have the LGBTQ straight people. Then you have the vaccinated, the unvaccinated, and then you have the long going black and white thing. Like, so it's so many things going against us that a little simplicity will basically, heal it all, you know, or at least give it a start. Um, like,
So, what would be
yes.
what would be your tips that people can do in their everyday life that you would consider to be simplicity? What would be the steps towards simplicity that you would give advice to someone who's stressing out?
My first step, I would say, is to
Okay.
pray just to be a better person and to, just stay headstrong and focus on being a better person, not just a better dad or a better son or a better any of that. Just focus on and pray about being a better person.
Mhm.
Staying humble is a big one. Because I feel like if you're staying humble, you're always going to be true to who you are. And just care for your fellow man rather than being so selfish and being
Mhm.
more selfless. I believe that is huge. How about yourself?
I believe in some of those same steps, but taking care of self, to be honest with you, that is going to be a selfish act. And one of the reasons I feel like people get away from simplicity is because they are too giving of themselves and they get caught up in everybody else's stress instead of taking care of themselves first. Um, my grandma taught me, she said, baby, no one can take care of somebody else if they ain't taking care of themselves first. And so my first step would be make sure you take time for yourself each and every day to reflect on self. That can be the moment where you have 10-minute prayer, 10-minute meditation, a 10-minute walk, 10-minute exercise, something that'll help you relieve stress, number one, and something that lets you reflect on you. And that might require you have to cut off something that you would normally be doing with somebody else. But at the same time, you can't give your best to a person unless you are giving your best self. So my first step would be for someone to really sit down, analyze what's going on in your life, analyze what's creating stress, and start taking a daily tack to take 10 minutes for yourself to reflect, to meditate, to pray, and to just plan on how you can do better.
Yes, I definitely agree with it. And I believe through meditation and, getting to know yourself that you will remove yourself gradually from some of these things that are a distraction.
Yep.
Um, that's
Mm-hmm.
why being focused, I believe, is a huge step.
Yep.
Because if you're focused, you have a goal in mind.
You
And
do.
and a lot of times, write those goals down. It might
Mm-hmm.
be 5 goals, you start chopping away at them. It's healthy for the mind.
Right.
We don't
Right.
feed our minds enough. Therefore, we're basically just caught in the world, caught on things that we see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's programmed us to be bad people,
And
and
I'll say this to what you just said too. Always be trying to learn something new, because it helps you refine doing something or making a new plan. And by doing that, that automatically puts you in a position where you tune out some of the stress of the world because you're focusing again on making you a better person by learning something new. Um, every year I try to do something new. Like this coming up year, I'm trying to learn how to fly an airplane.
oh,
So
nice.
and it's a little scary, but it's a little exciting. But at the same time, I'm gonna have to cut off some space for the time to learn how to do it. And during that time, I'm not gonna be thinking about nothing else. I mean, my stress level should be pretty far down until I get up in the air in the airplane. But for the most part, it should be pretty low because I'm focusing on a new goal. And I would tell people every single year, set some goals and work toward them and focus on those goals. And that'll also help you just by process of merit eliminate some stress.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, Good luck with that. That is something that I definitely will not be doing. It's not on my bucket list. But you know what?
Bruh,
It's no such thing as good luck. I would say more so congratulations because you're doing something that you want to do, and
do I? Yeah, I want to do it, but how bad do I want to do it? Because I mean, I went up for my first flight 3 weeks ago, and I don't have a problem with the height, being in the air. That doesn't bother me. It's when the plane hits severe turbulence is when I tend to get a little shaky. But they've been coaching me on, I know the science behind it, and the science behind why you hit turbulence shouldn't make me feel better about it, but it doesn't. But I think that over time I can get over it. But that's part of someone being simple and setting a goal or doing something new and creative because the barriers that prevent you from obtaining that goal are going to force you to either focus in on it and get it done or it's going to cause you to quit. And most people I like to believe have enough intestinal fortitude when they put the mind something they can get it done.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Like even for me, like with this YouTube thing.
Hmm.
I feel like it got to a point where I feel like it wasn't a choice. Like, this is
Mm,
my calling to say something that might help someone,
right.
and at that point, it's out of my hands. I just gave it all to God. Like, okay, this is what you want me to do. You want me to speak to the people. I'll start being nervous one day, and everything will work out.
Hey man, it's one of those time things. You will get over that part.
Yes.
You know, I could I could get on YouTube looking sharp every time I get up here, but I don't. And I don't because I'm pretty comfortable in who I am and what I do and what I say. And that's not to say that, I'm trying to give you guys a bad presentation. I do come up here with my clothes on, so the presentation I'm giving you guys is one of, I'm just like you. You know, I, you've never heard me brag about anything really. I'm
Right.
just like you. I wear hoodies, I wear hats, I wear jogging pants. And if I can get to a point in YouTube where I'm making gains, you certainly can do it too if you just put the time into it and you focus on it.
Yes. And speaking of making gains, Lamont, would you like to tell the people like some of your other ventures as far as the fitness and the apparel and things of that nature?
Man, Lord have mercy. We ain't got enough time for all that, man. My For those that don't know, my degree is in science. I'm a respiratory therapist by degree, but I'm not doing that anymore. When I graduated college in 2006, I moved to where I live at now. I started one of the first male-owned Black respiratory therapy outpatient services in my whole state of North Carolina, working with children that have asthma, cystic fibrosis, and a number of the lung problems, treating them in an outpatient setting. And my state's legislature decided, well, we're going to change the rules and basically cut the budget for that program. And so I had to kind of revamp myself. And from there, me and my wife bought a child care building and tried to franchise with an organization. Franchise part didn't work, but the real estate part did. And so we stopped doing the child care business, started leasing out the building, and that worked very well. And then eventually, we was able to, after about 5 years of getting that rent, package up a long-term contract with the tenant we had and sell that plus the real estate for a little bit around $500,000. And then I started, doing more in my stock investing. I actually, one point in time, I have a CDL so I can drive a truck too. And I've done that because I wanted to see, could I make some money in it? Could I enjoy doing that business? And I learned quickly that hell to the no, I can't. But I mean, if I needed to get in a truck right now and drive it, I could. But that business venture didn't work out for me. And then lastly, I got in great shape. Around 2015 ish, I went from 320 pounds all the way down to 195, sitting at 10% body fat, got into a fitness competition and won, and started letting fitness be one of the backbones of what I do in life. And from there, I just kept investing in stocks. Um, I kept buying up more property. And then I careened all that into a YouTube presence. And I sit here before you guys now with rental properties, over 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and portfolio that I actively manage on my own that brings in an income usually about 7,000 a month in my Robinhood account.
Okay. Okay. Man, that's a lot. That's a lot accomplished. And the next venture is flying a plane, right?
Next venture is flying a plane and swimming.
Yes. So simply put, living your best life, right?
Trying, yeah, I'm trying. My daughter likes to jump on my ankle whenever I try to do something, so I'm living my best life with my family, is what I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just wanted to come on and talk to the people for a moment. Like I said, I haven't been putting out a lot of content due to being busy at work and things of that nature. But I will, hopefully I can have you back on and just go over some few things, whatever the topic may be. Just I would like to just stay connected with the people and put as much content out as possible. Uh, Maybe even one time we can chop it up about your Dolphins.
I don't want to
Even
talk
though you
about
got
them.
the Panthers
I
tonight.
I don't want to talk about them, man. God, look, man, Lord, you know what? I'm ready to fire the whole team. I'm done with Tua. I'm done with Tua, and I'm about done with Brian Flores, our head coach. I'm just about done with him because the product that them boys put on the field this
Mhm.
past Sunday, they gave up, and giving up is usually an issue that relates right back to the coaching. So I'm about ready to just throw in the whole thing, fire everybody, bring Deshaun down there, bring in a new head coach, and let's make things happen.
It could be worse. Your head coach could be on TV crying.
And you know what? Our head coach could have got on TV, said homophobic, misogynistic,
Yes.
racist statements, and then try to say that he's not a racist. You know, it could be that bad, and he could be getting fired. So, you know, we could have that bad press, but we don't. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to take that for what it is, and hope that we can start trying to put something on the field that's at the very least competitive.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, how are you allowed to resign? Like you're about to get fired, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna resign, just so being fired isn't on the resume.
That is a homeboy handout.
Yeah.
Him and the owner of that team are like this. They're buddies.
Okay.
They're buddies. And so he was gonna fire him, but to make it look better on the surface, he allowed him to resign. And
Yeah.
what people should be more afraid of with this story, this story was due to an investigation with the NFL involving the Washington Redskins. John Gruden was strung on the emails because if you guys can remember, his brother at one point in time was coaching the Washington football team.
Yes.
Back
Yep.
then, they was the Redskins. And so he was talking to the general manager, and they were just shooting the breeze or whatever. But the NFL has 650,000 emails similar to what happened. And the only person that they're going to put information out there on is John Gruden. When on all those emails, you pretty much got every owner saying these dastardly things. You got general managers saying dastardly things. But the one person who wasn't even working for the NFL, you throw him out there as red meat for the emails, and you're not going to put everybody else's business out there. I think we know what that's called, my brother.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sad. That's the
That's
yeah.
one term. I would use some more choice words, but this is not my channel, so I'm going to save it. But let's just say there's some privilege going on because I think the NFL is trying to save face. Because if we could really see what was in all those emails and how some of these owners are talking, the NFL would lose money hand over fist for a little while until probably half the owners in the NFL had to resign and sell their teams to somebody else.
Absolutely.
Because if you
There's
think,
a reason.
oh yeah, what John Gruden said, us catching him was just the tip of the iceberg. Think about the people he's palling up with in these emails that's receiving that information. And for him to be that comfortable to say those things
Right.
lets you know whoever's receiving these emails is very comfortable with that type of stuff going on. So I hope that somehow or another, little birdie can drop some of them emails so that we can cuss out some of these owners that we always knew had biases, general managers that had biases, and then put everybody on Front Street because it makes me upset when we know that there's something going on, and in doing what the topic of this video is being simplistic. If you know you can't control it, you don't worry about it. But you know in your
Absolutely.
heart there's something going on that is outside of your control that's preventing you from obtaining a goal. But you let it go, you put your head down, you keep on going. Those emails could reveal why some of these people have been hitting barriers. And it can be
Yes.
confirmation to you that you wasn't crazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I always said, it's no coincidence why Deshaun Watson didn't have any issues until he decided he wanted to leave Houston.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
like
And
it's terrible.
I 100% believe that the owners and the general managers probably referred some of those young ladies. 100%. 100%.
Definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
Because
Meanwhile,
even with John Gruden, what's got to upset women, they had new photos of the cheerleaders auditioning for the Washington football team at that time, just circulating it around in those emails like it's nothing. And remember, John
Wow.
Gruden wasn't even working for the NFL then.
Right.
How in,
Exactly.
how in the hell is he even allowed to be on the email string that's supposed to be dealing with the team? So he's up there looking at these young ladies and stuff like that. And any man who has a daughter who's in the cheerleading field and that would happen, you should be ready to go and beat up somebody, but you shouldn't. But in your heart, you probably feel like doing that. And so I think that they need to just relinquish all those emails, let us know what we're really dealing with so that we can adjust our behavior accordingly.
Absolutely. And we already know, but there, like you said, there's so much more to those emails that we don't know and that hasn't been released.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they probably going to bury this one. Maybe some young techie who's down with the hacker group might get into it, but short of that, we're not going to see him.
Oh, so it's going to be a Robert Kraft situation where it's just swept under the rug.
Oh, of course. When you're dealing with Anglo-Saxons in that manner, of course it gets swept under the rug.
Yeah.
In essence, how can I couch this properly? So Deshaun has got all these eruptions with different women because he was getting rubbed and tugged. And they didn't let that die down for about 4 weeks. Robert Kraft done the same exact thing in a place that was known for child trafficking. And that got swept under the rug in one weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally. And if he done it once, he's probably done it multiple times. But we ain't heard no more people come out and tell on Robert Kraft.
Exactly.
So you guys try to tell me where the privilege is at.
Right. Exactly. Not once have I heard that cancel word involving these situations.
And you won't. You just won't. I prefer to use the term. I don't say cancel culture. I say consequence culture. If you do something that is so egregious that it can be damning to a group of people, it can be damning to someone who is in a lower position than you. You deserve some kind of behavior. You deserve some kind of consequence for your behavior, and it doesn't have to be canceling your social media. It can be choking off your money. And usually that kind of consequence gets people to start thinking twice about their behavior.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. So that's pretty much it for tonight. Like I say, I really appreciate you coming on.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to tell the people, where you can be found and what days.
Sure.
What you cover.
Well, my link, or if you just want to find me on YouTube, you can just type in Lamont Tyson. You'll see my videos. Normally, what I do on my main channel is review movies and TV shows. For the most part, TV shows. We're doing Power, we're doing BMF, we do The Shy. We're getting ready to get back doing Hightown, and me and my wife are going to be reviewing Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, one of my favorite Jews on the planet. Love that dude. And I typically put those videos out throughout the week, but we do have a live show that we do, which is 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday night. Monday and Tuesday night, we're reviewing whatever shows we covered from Sunday. And Friday night is the free for all, where we just kind of talk about the events that happened during that week, maybe a little bit of stocks. And then on the Life Gains Financial channel, we're covering all things finances, from real estate to options in the stock market, to you building your portfolio, to you building your credit, to avoiding pitfalls that might suck money out of your pocket. So that's pretty much it, man. That's all I got on my channel. I would love to have people come and join us. Would love for you guys to please like this video for Big Mike Willie, the big homie in the D, making things happen, going through trying to get another one of these goals X'd off his box. Like his video and share this, brother. He's going to be blowing up.
Thank you, brother. And until that next video, I shall see you come Sunday morning. Thank you. Peace.